It's that time of the year again, where the sky is blue and all the trees have gotten all their green back, and the weather is so nice. You know what else comes around at this time of the year? The last day of school. In late May, early June, schools all over America, and probably several other countries, are like, school's out, have a good summer vacation, and they just run wild and do whatever. Those are some good days. In fact, for me, well, at elementary school anyway, the last day of school was probably the best thing to ever exist. And let me tell you why. So, it all started usually in the last week or so, I want to say, where there were like these last, I want to say between 5 and 8 days where the school days would just, it felt more like paradise, where the classes would get easier and the teachers were running out of things on the curriculum, and whew, it was kind of nice. I do firmly remember one time in 5th grade where normally throughout the rest of the year they would say, for this class you need this, this, and this, and for that class you need this, this, and that. But on the last day that was ever done, they would come in and say, for this class you just need yourself, and for that class all you really need is, well, yourself. Essentially what I'm trying to say is, on the last few days of school basically turned into, well, a carnival. In most classes, the teachers wouldn't even bother teaching anything. All they'd really do is just put on a movie like, I don't know, like a DreamWorks movie or something. And, you know, that was that. And of course, we never even got to finish the movie because of how short the classes were back in elementary school. One day I do remember is that one time in 5th grade, again, because 5th grade is where it really went bananas. It started with a day where one of our teachers put on this movie called Surf's Up. I think that's what it's called. All I remember is that it has a bunch of penguins trying to surf in it. That's all I remember about that movie. And then after that, they would take us out to like the football field and playground and stuff, because at my elementary school, the playground and football field were all kind of connected for a while. And then they had like a whole carnival set up out there, yeah? And there was like this big ice cream truck parked right by the bleachers, I think. Yeah, it was pretty great. And they were like handing the students buckets of popcorn, and I'm pretty sure they were giving out gelato too, but I'm not too sure on that one. For something my 5th grade year and 8th grade year both did, was they took us to this water park right near where I live. Like, from where I live, there is like a water park just up the road a few miles from my house, and that's pretty cool, I guess. So they took my whole grade there for the last days of 5th and 8th grade, so that was pretty nice. However, I cannot tell you what happened on the last day of 7th grade because I wasn't there. I was actually on my way to Disney World. So, yeah, my 7th grade year ended with a trip to Disney World. How lucky am I? And then when the last day of school actually came, it started with the teacher just like, you know what, kids, I ain't got nothing left to teach you. So, go outside and have recess all day. And sure enough, that's exactly what went on. And then at the end of that whole day, as we were all getting on the buses, the teachers were standing by where the buses were driving away. And I think some teachers and I think a few students were out there too, but I'm not quite sure. They were all standing outside the buses and like waving goodbye to the kids and just like, have a great summer. Oh yeah, and they also handed out the yearbooks around this time, but I can't quote you on that. Don't worry, my school still handed out yearbooks at the end of the year, but for something a little off topic I think you want to know, is my high school was a little different. They handed out the yearbooks at the beginning of the next year, which I find a little stupid, but essentially here's how it worked. Let's say you're a freshman who's waiting for their yearbook at the end of freshman year, but you never get it. And you're like, I guess I might have done something wrong. And then eventually it's the beginning of your sophomore year, and boom, then you get your freshman yearbook. Seriously, how insane and dumb is that? So then the buses were all driving us home, and everyone was standing outside of the school's parking lot waving goodbye to us. And when I got home, I would usually celebrate the end of the year by ordering pizza from this pizza place near where I live, and then taking a swim in my pool, and then finally getting an ice cream cone from an ice cream parlor just down the road from where I am. Yeah, I live near a lot of cool stuff, yet I never get to go to or order from any of them anymore. And here's the thing. I, for one, am honestly very relieved I graduated from my elementary/middle school before they started doing this. I still follow my old school on social media, and they post pictures there quite often. The pictures they posted earlier today were them doing the waving goodbye as the buses were driving away as usual, except some of the teachers, and even a few students, had like these sort of water guns that you'd see at when you were a kid and you went to a pool party, and there was that one really cool kid who had like the plastic water guns. Yeah, the teachers had some of those because apparently they were having a soak party and squirting the kids with them. I'm so glad they didn't do it when I was still around, but yeah. But then again, kids these days have a lot of waterproof stuff, so would they really even care? It's not like they had any papers of homework in there, so really, in hindsight, should that matter? Because it's the last day of school, they don't even bother giving you any homework because, you know, the teachers want to make the last day of school heaven on earth. However, since I've graduated a few years ago, I don't get to experience cool stuff like that anymore. I'm just kind of chilling at home all day with very little friends. I'm very alone. I'm a very lonely guy. So, when the last day of school does hit, it doesn't really affect me at all. But, you know, I'm pretty sure some of those kids out there are super stoked for their summer vacation. Anyways, I'm glad I could have taken a few minutes of your time, and I'll be seeing you soon. Bye, and have a great summer vacation if you're still in school.